What's going on, everyone? It's the Fantasy Football Almanac back at it with another Best Ball Draft video. Today we're hopping in Best Ball Mania 3. There's 406,000 current entrants right now, so we are pretty close. I mean, 90% fill. We probably only have another 2 or 3 days of these Best Ball drafts, so I'm going to be hopping in a ton here, as many as I possibly can before the season starts. We got the 8th pick here. I mean, I'm okay with it, I guess, but prefer a pick a little bit higher up or a little bit further down because it means we most likely will not be ending up with a guy like Joe Mixon, a guy like Saquon Barkley at pick 17. Guys, I really like in a format like this. Potentially, we could end up with Alvin Kamara here, which would be nice. I mean, I would say a pairing of potentially a guy like Diggs and Kamara would work well. We are in a position where we probably are not getting Jamar Chase here. It is possible, but unlikely. It would be nice, though. We are hopping in a draft. If you guys do enjoy these type of videos, though, please go down, leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Would really mean the world to me. Love each and every single one of you guys. Would really help me out so much. So thank you guys. Would be awesome. But either way here, we got Jamar Chase off the board. Austin Eckler, probably going to come off the board next. A guy I would be fine with at 8. I really do like Austin Eckler. He does come off, though. Torn between Cook and Diggs here. I think Cook probably offers a little bit of a higher ceiling, but we're going to go Diggs here. And the reason why we're going Diggs is because in this format, we are starting 3 wide receivers here. Let's just pull up the little thing here. We are starting 3 wide receivers, so wide receivers do get a slight bump in usage just because of that, whereas we are only starting 2 running backs. And you do figure, I mean, we probably will end up with a guy like Aaron Jones, Alvin Kamara in the next round. There's so many great running backs to go. Whereas the wide receiver, well, I mean, it's still really strong, but not as strong as these running backs here. And there's just so many good ones. I imagine Najee Harris probably comes off the board, Saquon Barkley, Travis Kelce, possibly CeeDee Lamb as well. But Saquon Barkley, a guy coming off the board super duper early now. People are just getting higher and higher and higher on him. And I'm fine with that. I mean, I have him as my running back 7 in this year's draft. I really like him. I think that's where he actually went right now. This is exactly where I have him. So I really like him. I actually really, really like him. We do have Alvin Kamara off the board. Najee Harris, a guy that's been falling a ton here. So it is possible we do end up with Najee here. I mean, that would be awesome to me. I'm fine getting Joe Mixon here as well. Getting the Diggs-Mixon combo is pretty rare, so I'll gladly take that. Joe Mixon, a guy I really like this season. I think the improved O-line means a lot. The offense in general is insane. I mean, there's really no weaknesses in Joe Mixon's profile. Maybe we'll see a tiny bit of touchdown regression, but in an offense that's going to be scoring 50 or 60 touchdowns, I mean, I think Joe Mixon's pretty good where he's going. I actually do have Joe Mixon as my running back. What is it? Running back 5, so I really like Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon coming off the board here. I mean, I'm fine taking Najee here. I think Najee's a good player. The problem I have with Najee is the fact that his ceiling is not that high, realistically. I mean, his floor is insane. One of the best floors out of any player. But in a draft like this, I'm shooting for ceiling here. I will take Najee here over any of these other guys because I think Najee's a good player. I mean, I have him as my RB8. I really do like Najee. But I like him a little bit less than consensus as of right now. I just don't think the ceiling is there for a guy like Najee. And we don't know how this offense is going to operate. I mean, we don't know if Mitch Trubisky or Kenny Pickett, if Kenny Pickett does start, is going to be throwing him the ball nearly as much. So it is a tad bit concerning for me with Najee Harris with total volume. Also, Tomlin has mentioned that he does want to lower the volume a little bit for a guy like Najee Harris. I mean, Najee Harris, 381 touches last season. That ranks him first in the entire league and second in the entire league in total touches over the past 5 years. So this is a guy touching the ball an absolute ton. He just has to go down from a total like that. Pretty much impossible not to regress. And the Steelers project to be not all that good, realistically. I mean, they're in a tough division, sure, but they're not gonna be all that great. I mean, I think they'll have a decent roster, but nothing crazy. We got Mark Andrews off the board here, though. Kyle Pitts actually the first tight end off the board. You don't see that too often, but I mean, I guess it does kind of make sense. Kyle Pitts, an absolute game changer going into year 2, could burst onto the scene and become honestly the best tight end in the league, and I wouldn't really surprise anybody. We are 7 picks away now, though. But there are some dudes I'd like here, whether it be Nick Chubb, T. Higgins I would be fine with. T. Higgins actually falling down, going under Michael Pittman here now. Michael Pittman, a guy just continually going higher and higher and higher up these boards here. We got Leonard Fournette, Michael Pittman now off the board. Michael Pittman, a guy I'm really not bought into at all. I think he's probably the most overvalued wide receiver in this range. The only player that I think is close is A.J. Brown here. I mean, them two are easily the most overvalued receivers, even though I think A.J. Brown is ridiculously talented. I mean, it's actually absurd how talented A.J. Brown is. I don't want to sleep on him. He's on a run-first offense with tons of other weapons. I mean, you got Dallas Goedert and Devonta Smith. These are both guys you do have to worry about stealing volume. And Jalen Hurts threw for 3,000 yards last season in 15 games. He had 9 games with under 200 passing yards. That's something that worries me, truly worries me about A.J. Brown. He will have boom weeks. He will totally have boom weeks that make me look like a fool for saying this, but I just can't see the volume getting there. Colin Sutton coming off the board, a guy I would have liked there. A guy I'm rising on more and more. Mike Evans coming off the board lower and lower as well. Here, I'm kind of leaning towards DJ Moore. I do like DJ Moore a lot, but also, I mean, I could consider going a guy like Josh Allen. But I don't know. I'm a little torn here. I think this range is all pretty good. There's a lot of players I like here, so I'm fine with whoever we end up getting. I think James Conner's the guy I actually like the most here, considering the receivers we can get on the way back. We can end up with a guy like Gabe Davis, Marquise Brown, Allen Robinson. So I think we will go running back or quarterback here, most likely, depending on who this guy goes. He goes A.J. Brown. I kind of want to go Josh Allen and get the stack of Josh Allen, Gabe Davis. Oh, we also have Diggs too. Yeah, we're gonna go with Josh Allen here. At a very, very slight value, not much of a value, but a value nonetheless. So we get Josh Allen here, nice little stack. Not my favorite stack to get because I think so many people have this stack, but still a nice stack nonetheless. We might pick up Gabe Davis as well. We'll see. It is a little tough letting James Conner go, but I think the running backs that make it back to us at pick 56 and 65 are fine because we can end up with a guy like, let's say, David Montgomery at 65, and then at 80, potentially Chase Edmonds, although Chase Edmonds is soaring up these boards, so it's getting less and less likely by the day. 76.3, dang, it's so painful. But the most painful is Dameon Pierce being drafted as a top 24 running back. That, pump the brakes, guys. Dameon Pierce will be the starter. Yes, he may receive passing down chops, maybe, potentially, but the odds are pretty low of that. Dang, Keenan Allen and Mike Williams still on the board here. I'm fine going either of these two dudes as well. We're 3 picks away, meaning the odds are pretty much 100% that we get one of these 3 guys. Somebody will go Keenan Allen too. I mean, Keenan Allen, not a guy I want because I'm concerned for the ceiling overall. I don't think the ceiling for Keenan is all that. Whereas I think these other guys, the ceiling is really just monstrous here. I mean, Mike Williams, Marquise Brown, they both have insane ceilings. They both have game-to-game ceilings where they're dropping 30. So, I mean, I would prefer Mike Williams over Keenan Allen. Actually, by like a fair margin here. Keenan's still a great wide receiver. I just can't see the ceiling for Keenan Allen this season, which is my concern. We'll see, though. Mike Williams comes off the board. I think I jinxed it a little bit, saying it was a virtual certainty that we would be getting one of these dudes. But, I mean, if Keenan Allen does make it back to us, I would be fine with that because it would create a really neat team combination. It doesn't happen, though, so we end up getting Marquise Brown. A guy I'm more than fine with getting here. Maybe I could have gone Juju. Juju, a guy I'm growing on an absolute ton. I really do like Juju here. Deontay Johnson, I think it's time to pump the brakes on Deontay Johnson with the fact that he's going as low as he is. I know he might not necessarily have the ceiling of some of these other players, but I mean, at the end of the day, Deontay Johnson will put up 1,100 yards. He's a PPR machine. I mean, I think he's a value where he's going right now. I actually definitely do. I mean, I would prefer him over Terry. I would prefer him over a fair amount of these dudes. Yeah, I think Deontay Johnson is one of the most talented wide receivers in the NFL. I'm not afraid to say that. I really like Deontay this season. I don't get why he is going as low as he is. I think I have him as my wide receiver 19 or 20 this season. I think that's low. I think I probably should have him higher. I think I have Juju just above him, and that's fair. But other than that, I mean, I would rather have Deontay than Terry, Brandon Cooks. Because like, at the end of the day, Brandon Cooks is the same thing that Deontay is with a lower ceiling, and they're being drafted like the same. So I don't really understand it. Amon-Ra is different. Amon-Ra is that ceiling case. I understand Amon-Ra, but I mean, we're pretty much drafting Rashad Bateman and Deontay Johnson so close when Rashad Bateman hasn't done what we know Deontay Johnson can do. I think Deontay Johnson, steal here, absolute steal. George Kittle coming off the board, a guy who's been creeping up recently. It kind of stinks because I do really like the value on George Kittle. I think he was such a good value. I think he was such a good value where he's going, but now, unfortunately, been falling down these boards a bit. We do have Juju and Deontay both on the board here. Chris Godwin as well. All these guys I'm fine with here. We are 6 picks away, and there's 3 players we like. We're good at quarterback, which is kind of nice because it gives us some flexibility now at pick 65. I also really do like going quarterback here because I think the quarterbacks in this range, I mean, I could reach a little bit on Jalen Hurts or hope he falls to me, but if that doesn't happen, then it is a little bit awkward here. So Juju Smith does come off the board, though. I'm really hoping we can get Deontay here. I mean, that would just make my day. That would just make my week, honestly. We would have 2 Steelers, which would kind of suck, but what can you do? Two of the best Steelers I'm fine with, even though I do like building with good offenses. I think the offensive production matters more generally than a player's talent. But in this case, if we're getting these players at values, I'm fine taking them. We'll see what happens, though. We might not get him. I mean, we are 3 picks away. Chase Edmonds coming off the board at pick 52. Oh, man. I love Chase. I love Chase to death, but honestly, nah, it's not even that bad. I have Chase as my running back 22, so... no, that's really actually not bad. It's just painful for me because I mean, I want Chase, I want Chase in every league I can get. He's actually, I looked at my exposures today. Chase Edmonds is my most owned running back for this season, which is pretty crazy. I mean, I'm glad. I'm fine with that. I really do like Chase Edmonds, as you can tell. But I want Deontay here. And I think when you're reaching like 2 rounds on a guy like Chase Edmonds, I think it's dumb because people are just going to have better teams than you. I mean, you most likely would have been able to have gotten him at 69. I think the odds aren't. Okay, let's go, Deontay Johnson. I have just been hyping up this whole round here, and now we end up getting him. So I think I willed that into existence here. We most likely, I mean, it depends on who falls to us, but I'm fine with Monty as my RB2. Realistically, it gives us such a nice team build. Now our main problem is the fact that we don't really have a good tight end here. We could end up going Schultz, probably. That's probably what we're going to do if we can get Schultz at 80 here. But I think his ADP 72 right now, so the odds are low. But I don't know why. I'm feeling something in this draft. I'm feeling it. I think we can end up with Dalton Schultz here. I'm jacking it. We'll see, though. We're 7 picks away. Chris Godwin somehow still on the board. Don't think that'll make it back to us. But I'm fine with Darnell. I'm fine with Monty. I'm fine with either of these, 3 guys? Yeah, Chris Godwin off the board. Whichever one falls to us. I guess I would be slightly more fine with Monty. I really hope these quarterbacks come off the board as well because it would just make our Josh Allen pick look bad. It would just make it look really, really bad here. We could go with Kyler here and just take a dominant QB approach. And the reason why we would go Kyler is because we have Hollywood. So we could take a dominant QB approach, but I think that's a losing strategy. And the reason why is because in Week 17, we don't need 2 great quarterbacks. We need great players from every facet. We already took Josh Allen to be that guy. So it would suck if quarterbacks were still here. I'm really hoping that's not the case. Jalen Hurts has come off the board. That is good, especially because we would have a little bit more value falling to us. I'm fine with Monty. I'm fine with Mooney. Either way, I wouldn't be too mad. But if you guys are enjoying this video, please go down, leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Would really mean the world to me. All the support has been fantastic so far. Really do love you guys. I'm excited for the football season to start. It is September 3rd when I'm recording this, which it should be uploaded on September 3rd. So football is in 5 days. Real football, and not just real football. Bills Rams. This game is gonna be awesome. I think the line right now is -2.5 for the Bills. So Bills are slightly favored, even though the Rams are home, which I kind of get. But I also think the Rams are not slept on, but like a really, really good roster. So I don't fully understand it. We're in a position now to get back to the draft where we could take either Monty or Mooney, the 2 DMs from Chicago. But I would prefer Montgomery here because we do need another running back, and our wide receivers are so stacked here. I love Darnell Mooney, But team building wise, roster building wise, Monty's got to be the pick here. So we are going to go David Montgomery. Even though I do really want Mooney, I think Montgomery's got to be the pick here. I think it's just too fair. Okay, so now we do need to figure out our not wide receiver room. We need to figure out our tight end position as soon as possible. If we can get Dalton Schultz here, I mean, I would be ecstatic. But there's so many players I would like. Darnell Mooney does come off the board at 67. I mean, that's definitely a steal there. That's 100,000% a steal. We do have Lazard and Schultz still on the board. Trey Lance, a guy I do want to see off the board, but a guy who's falling. So, I mean, if I can get him here at pick 80, I mean, I would gladly take him here. Alan Lazard, a guy I think there's no possible chance will get back to me, but I really, really like Alan Lazard this season. I do not get why he's going as low as he is. I mean, Dameon Pierce, that's painful. That's so painful. I mean, come on. The ADP for Dameon Pierce has to chill out. It just has to. I mean, everyone, relax. Relax on Dameon Pierce a little bit. Relax, please. We are 6 picks away, though, and there's 2 players we really like here. If I am in the position to somehow get both of them, or both of them are still on the board, I would go Lazard, personally. The reason why I would go Lazard is because I think he just offers such high upside, and I think we can get a guy like Cole Kmet even later. Doesn't happen, though. Russell Wilson. Okay, so there are 2 picks pretty much before Dalton Schultz, because neither of these guys have tight ends. So it is possible one of these 2 dudes goes tight ends here. We got Tom Brady off the board, making our Josh Allen pick actually look a lot better now, because now quarterbacks are kind of getting reached on here. But we'll see. I have a feeling Dalton Schultz is going to be off the board here. I mean, but it is possible this guy also reaches on quarterbacks, possibly takes a wide receiver. He does go Dalton Schultz here, though. Now we're in a position, I mean, would have been so nice. I go Chase Edmonds here pretty much every time. Chase Edmonds not on the board, though. We're going to go with Drake London here. I'm fine with that. I mean, we do have just 4 wide receiver ones in their offenses, respectively. The only one that's not is Marquise Hollywood-Brown, but he will be a wide receiver 1 for the first 6 weeks of the season. And then we don't know how D-Hop's going to come back after being suspended. I mean, last year he did not look all that great. It was certainly the worst season we have seen for DeAndre Hopkins in a while, so we'll see. But we are 7 picks away again. I'm fine going with a guy like Clyde. Build out our running back room a little bit more. I'm also fine going with Olave. I think Amari Cooper is not a bad pick too, at least in a format like this. I mean, in your redraft leagues, like let's say your home leagues, right? Your casual leagues. I think picking Amari Cooper is an absolutely awful pick because you're only going to get utility out of him at the very end of the season. He's just basically a roster clog, in my opinion. But in a format like this, where it doesn't matter who you start, where they're automatically going to put in the best people for you, I think Amari Cooper is a lot more valuable. So I'm fine going Amari here. I do like the running backs on the way back. If we can end up with Kareem Hunt, I guess that's actually really the only running back, so it'd be pretty risky here. We probably wouldn't get Kareem Hunt at 104. But Clyde is off the board here, so, I mean, I'm fine going Kadarius Toney or Amari Cooper. Those are the 2 guys that I would really be fine with here. We'll see if either of them makes it back to us. We are 2 picks away now, so the odds are good, but they're not 100%. This guy will most likely, I feel like, go wide receiver as well. He's trying a similar build. I am actually the same exact build. 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 4 wide receivers here. He goes Antonio Gibson. That's actually fair. I mean, we don't know the status of Brian Robinson. He may not play the entire season. If he does, I think this Washington backfield is basically useless, but I think that's a good pick there. We're going to go with Amari Cooper here. A guy who could boom towards the end of the season, and that's why I'm taking that risk. But I do understand not wanting to take Amari Cooper. I think he is a value, though. We got Valdez-Scantling off the board here. I'm really hoping Kareem Hunt can make it back to us. If not, TJ Hawkinson's fine. But Kareem Hunt, one of the biggest values in the entire draft where he's going right now. I mean, it's actually crazy where he's going. Yes, he's a guaranteed backup. Yes, 100%. But so is Tony Pollard. So is A.J. Dillon. These guys are going rounds ahead when we already know the talent of Kareem Hunt. We know what Kareem Hunt is, and Kareem Hunt's an absolute beast. We know Kareem Hunt's a really, really good football player. We saw it the first 2 years of his career, RB3 and then RB10 after being suspended 5 games. That's really good. And then 2 years ago, even being the second role, the second fiddle, so to speak, in Cleveland, he's the RB 10 on the season, playing a full 16 games, and Chubb playing 12. And then last season, he was really dominant before getting hurt and pretty much going down for the full season. The first 7 weeks, he was the top 12 running back, or he was actually running back 13, but virtually the same exact numbers as Nick Chubb. So I'm fine going Kareem Hunt if he somehow makes it back to us. I think the odds are low, again, as I'll say, because a lot of these guys are going with a low RB strategy. I mean, two running backs, two running backs, two running backs, two running backs. So I think at least one of these guys are going to be taken. A running back here. We just got to hope it's Miles Sanders, it's Damian Harris. Guys that I really don't like at all here. We could go Dawson Knox, though, because we do have Josh Allen. It would be a nice stack to have. There is a lot of vacated targets in this offense. I think Dawson Knox is a fine pick. I know a lot of people in the advanced community, advanced analytics type community, they think he's going to regress. I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that at all. But at the same time, he isn't an offense that's going to be producing a ton of touchdowns. This touchdown number should go down, but he can have those boom weeks. So I'm absolutely fine with it. I would go with George Pickens here, maybe. But the problem is we already have Deontay. We already have Najee. So I don't really want to touch. I don't really want to own all of this Steelers offense. I think it's just not smart to. But we shall see. Cole Kmet coming off the board over Dawson Knox, actually, which isn't that surprising. Cole Kmet, a guy rising up boards a ton here. But I mean, it does make sense here. We're probably going to go with the 3 tight end build here, most likely. Actually, I don't know. We are probably going to go with the 3 tight end build. Maybe we're going to end up picking up like a Kenny Pickett type quarterback here, because we do already have Najee, we do already have Deontay, so it would make sense here. But we're probably going to go either Dawson Knox or James Cook. I think monopolizing as much of this Buffalo offense as we can is smart. I'd say Dawson Knox is probably the pick here, because we do need something at tight end. A body. No. Actually, how many picks are we by? 113. I think possible. Okay, James Cook's off the board, so it doesn't matter. Alright, so we're going with Dawson Knox here then, 100%. Dawson Knox, I think, an absolutely fine pick here. Secure our tight end room a bit. I am pretty worried at running back here, but we'll see who falls to us. I mean, if Patterson's on the board and our next pick, someone like that, we'll see who ends up falling to us. Dawson Knox, though, very, very good player here, so I'm fine getting him. We do have a lot of this Bills offense. Not a strategy I generally go with, but a strategy kind of just naturally fell to me. Naturally just made the most sense for my team here, so I'm fine with it. I do like getting stacks at values. I think it makes sense. And we got this whole stack pretty much either out of value or right around ADP, so I'm fine doing it. I really am. Considering I really like this roster around the team as well. I mean, our only weakness, I would say, obviously tight end's a weakness, but we do have that 1C stack, which I really like. And we're going to figure it out. We're going to be drafting 3 tight ends here. We also need to figure out running back. I mean, our running back 3 and running back 4, just, I mean, it's not really all that good. Kenneth Gainwell could be interesting. Madison, always interesting. Algier, fine. That's probably what we'll end up doing. We'll probably just end up snagging these 2 dudes. We are 5 picks away now. Potentially, I mean, going Aaron Rodgers here could be interesting. Actually, how far down is Romeo Doubs? We are okay, so we probably won't be getting Romeo Doubs here. It's pretty much impossible. Kind of torn going. We don't need Rodgers here really. I'm probably gonna go. I mean, Julio Jones could make sense here. Robert Woods, actually, I didn't even think about him. I mean, he's going to be the wide receiver 1 on this offense. And he is also gone. We are going to take... I don't really want Zach Ertz. Not a guy I really think is going to be all that great this season. I'm going to go with Julio Jones. We're going to take the shot on talent here. And we're going to secure our wide receiver room. I mean, our wide receiver room is absolutely stacked here. It's like a really, really good wide receiver room. And we're going to be getting another one of these dudes, whether it be Dobbs, Gallup, Dotson, any of these guys. At 128 here, most likely, at least one of them. Palmer could even fall here. McKenzie, worst comes to worst. Oh, wait, actually, that would actually even create a crazier Buffalo stack here. Maybe McKenzie at 137. And then if a guy like Gabe Davis does go down, I mean, this becomes electric. Then we have Stephon Diggs and Isaiah McKenzie, and then Dawson Knox. I mean, that's just absolutely electric. And we have them all at values. That's kind of my philosophy, though. We'll see. We're 10 picks away right now, so this guy's only got, wow. I mean, this guy will most likely, never mind. I was going to say he's got Alan Lazard. Alan Lazard at value, too. That's painful. He does go Damian Pierce. He is kind of running a weird running back room. I mean, I don't really like having both Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt on a best ball team. I think on redraft, it's fine. It's way more fine, like in your casual home leagues. But in a format like this, I don't think it maximizes your ceiling at all. So that's why I like it. But for floor purposes in your home leagues, I think it's really smart to do. We are 8 picks away now, and there's 3 players we want. So most likely not going to end up with any of these guys. We could go with Freiermuth here, the Muth, and then take a third tight end even. Like, if let's say we go Pat Freiermuth here. It makes sense that these guys are all coming off the board. Let's say we go Pat Freiermuth here. And then in the next round, we fingers crossed get Isaiah McKenzie, which probably is unlikely. It probably is pretty much impossible, but let's just say, for sake of argument, that's what happens. Or if not, we go Madison. We have some choices here. We actually have a lot of flexibility here to do what we want to do because we have so many good wide receivers. We have a really good quarterback. We have foundational pieces. I really like this team. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments, though, if you guys like this team or not. I understand it is a little bit of a different build, but it is pretty balanced overall. We do have our kind of like hero RB type strategy, which I think is fine in a format like this. I mean, our weakness really is tight end. We're going to be drafting 3 of them to figure it out because we have such a strength of wide receiver. And we have pretty decent running backs, just such a phenomenal quarterback. That's why I like Josh Allen, too, because it's like I don't have to take a quarterback now until Zach Wilson, Kenny Pickett. I mean, Zach Wilson's practically free right now. He's literally just free. Going in the last round, and sure, he'll probably miss a week or 2. But, I mean, this is a guy who was being drafted as the quarterback 23, 22, in this range. Now he's going as a quarterback 31 because he'll miss a few weeks in the beginning of the season. I have Josh Allen here, so I don't really care about my quarterback 2 as much. More just drafting him for stability's sake. I see McKenzie on the board, but I think we got to go with Pat Freiermuth here. Secure our tight end position. I know going with McKenzie was probably the higher upside play, I guess, in terms of the fact that. But the thing is, we have so many quality wide receivers. I mean, we already have 6 wide receivers that we don't really need. We don't really need Isaiah McKenzie right now. If he comes to us at a value, though, next round, I will gladly take him here. And this guy has no tight ends, so... And this guy actually has no tight ends. These 2 players both have no tight ends, so they probably were going to snipe him. And then we'll probably end up going with, like, a Hurst later, a Brevin Jordan later, one of these type of dudes. Probably Brevin Jordan, honestly. Brevin Jordan, a guy... One of my most drafted tight ends this season. My most drafted, actually, I'm proud to say it, is George Kittle. I'm glad. It's Kittle and Schultz are actually tied. 2 guys I really liked. Then Schultz had this crazy ADP spike where he's going 10 or 12 picks behind Kittle. And so I stopped drafting Schultz as much, but now I'm right back to drafting Schultz a ton. I think his ADP is really, really settled out now. It's good. We got Naheem Hines off the board here. We'll see who ends up making it back to us. But again, Isaiah McKenzie, Madison would be fine. Madison would provide us some really much needed depth at the running back position. I think it would actually be awesome. But we shall see. We are pretty dang close. We're actually really, really close here. 5 picks away now. Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson really came off the board that late. Wow, that's crazy. What's his? His ADP is falling. It is a little nerve-wracking investing into the Jets, but it still is doable. Isaiah McKenzie, close, but too tantalizingly close, actually. The problem is, I mean, he's so close that he's probably not going to make it back to us. I have a feeling we're going to get sniped right here in 3, 2, 1, and now. No, okay, I guess not. Just wanted to see if I could call that, but We'll see what he ends up doing. 5 seconds left on the clock. He does go to Devontae Parker here. We'll see what Vicky does then. Vicky? I don't even know how you say that, but then we're getting another really, really good wide receiver. If we do have McKenzie here, if we do get him, which I'm not sure if we will, but if we do, and then it's good because we really have so much of this bill stack at huge value now. I mean, getting McKenzie at a value, I'm fine with that. So we have really, really good values here. I like this team a lot. Again, let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Because I know it is a little bit of a weird team build. Probably in the next round. I mean, I would hope for KJ Hamler here. Whoa, 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 whoa. I would hope for KJ Hamler here. But we'll see. I mean, I don't really know. Maybe we go Algier, because we do need to figure it out at running back. We do need some running back depth here. We can't just bank on the fact that Najee and Montgomery won't go down. I mean, we actually kind of can, but it's a risky proposition here. We'll see, though. We'll see what ends up happening. Madison off the board as well. Pacheco, a riser initially, but, I mean, he did land a spot on the roster, yes. But look who else landed a spot on the roster. Clyde, Jerick McKinnon, and Ronald Jones. Jerick McKinnon last year was a beast. Ronald Jones was getting negative training camp reports, but still on the roster. And then Clyde, I mean, you have 4 running backs. That is concerning. I don't know how much workload Pacheco is going to get. Not a guy I'm really taking here at this ADP, so I'm a little wary. Potentially, actually, going Brian Robinson here. I know the whole shooting and everything. It's definitely a risky play. We don't know when he's going to come back, but let's say he comes back week 5, right? A guy who has already showed up into the building, is feeling a lot better after, the whole shooting and everything. So there is potentially does come in and take this job as he already did. And it was already announced. He pretty much won the starting job in camp this season. So I think if they really do like him, Brian Robinson might be back week 5. He might not be back at all. It's definitely a risk. But in this format, taking a risk is sometimes worth it. I mean, it's not sometimes, all the time. It's worth it. You need to take risks. Here we are actually not going to take a risk, though. We're probably going to be taking Jacoby Myers here. There's so much good wide receiver value that's been falling to us here that it's like really, really hard to pass on. It's actually crazy. It's making me pretty happy because usually it's the other way around. Usually it's RB value that makes it back to us. So I guess it was a good thing. I mean, maybe we should have went Dalvin Cook, but at this point, totally hindsight. I mean, we could just never know something like that. And at this point, we're pretty much done with wide receivers. So we are just going to be hammering tight ends and running backs for the rest of the draft. Try and get one more quarterback here. Whether it ends up being a really cheap Zach Wilson, a Carson Wentz. I mean, I could even go with Daniel Jones the next round here, potentially. Not a guy I'm really targeting, though, right now. I'm probably going to go with Brian Robinson here, honestly. If he does make it back to us. I know it's a crazy pick. But to win a format like this, you got to be crazy. So it's kind of my philosophy. Oh, Christian Watson, actually. And then we round out our wide receiver room for the rest of the draft here. But I already own so much Christian Watson. I think it's fine to not, because our wide receiver room is so talented, and we do need running backs here. So I'm probably not going to go Brian Robinson here, actually. I'm probably not going to go Christian Watson here. Probably am going to go Brian Robinson if he makes it back to us. I just need to figure out this running back space, honestly. None of these guys are all that good. I mean, I'll probably end up going with Eno, Ty, Dave's Price. Probably these guys, these 3 dudes. Will round out my tight end room, or round out my running back room. Maybe we take another tight end, or maybe we just take another quarterback. We'll see here. But I think Brian Robinson's the pick. A guy who, yes, will be falling down these boards, but a guy who also may start at some point in the season. If that's the case, I think it's valuable touches. Any starting running back is valuable. Especially because they basically relegated, before the shooting, they basically relegated, what's his name? Why am I blanking? Antonio Gibson to kick return duties. I mean, this was not a guy they trusted at all in this offense. So, I mean, I don't really like it. But that is going to do it for the video here. We are going to grab 2 more running backs, maybe another tight end, and a quarterback. That's going to do it for me. thank you guys so much for watching. Really hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, enjoy the rest of your night, enjoy the rest of your life.